Hello and welcome. My name is John Geidish and I am the Homebuyer Services Manager with Habitat for Humanity of Montgomery and Delaware counties. Today, we'll be going over our home purchase program and the upcoming housing opportunities that we will have available in Pottstown, PA and Montgomery County. This presentation will contain a lot of information, so please feel free to take your time, pause, take notes, and watch the video at your own pace. Today's agenda will cover a brief background on Habitat for Humanity, our mission and vision statement, some common misconceptions that we run into when people think of Habitat and what we offer and what we do. We would then talk about our home purchase program, including the program eligibility components and program qualification factors. We would then go over the Habitat mortgage and how we ensure its affordability. We would discuss the upcoming Pottstown housing opportunities and timeline. We would then go over the steps of the application process, and that'll lead into talking about what happens if you are approved. And at the end, we will provide some more resources and contact information for moving forward, where you will also be able to ask any questions that you may have. Habitat for Humanity's mission and vision statement. Habitat's mission is to bring people together to build homes, communities, and hope. Our vision is to have a world where everyone has a decent place to live. Our affiliate, which serves both Montgomery and Delaware counties, has dedicated over 35 years to providing, expanding, and supporting affordable home ownership opportunities for income-qualified households across these two counties. Let us go over the two most common Habitat for Humanity misconceptions. The first most common misconception with Habitat is that we give away homes for free. Unfortunately, this is not true. However, we do offer homes for purchase with an affordable mortgage to income-qualified applicants. There is also a common misunderstanding that Habitat's affordable homes reduce property values in the neighborhoods they reside in. Studies have shown this not to be true. To ensure that affordable housing does not have a negative effect on the communities we build and rehab in, the lending product we offer includes an affordable first mortgage that the homeowner will pay into, and then a second mortgage which secures the difference in value between the affordable first mortgage and the total appraised value of the home. We will explain these mortgages in more detail later in the presentation. Before we move on, a few reminders. Even though you are attending informational sessions or intend to apply to the program, it does not guarantee you a home. We will be reviewing each application thoroughly with the intention of finding applicants who are qualified and ready for a long-term financial commitment. This is also a lending application. You are applying to borrow money just as you would in any other lending application in the general market. We will be pulling your credit, and it will be a hard inquiry that may affect your credit score. The Habitat Home Purchase Program. In this slide, we'll be going over the program eligibility components and the program qualification factors. The program eligibility components will determine your acceptance and entry into our home purchase program. The first one is a little bit more self-explanatory. Before applying, you must have lived and/or worked in Montgomery or Delaware County for at least a year prior to applying. The application will require verification of this through your employment and residence history. The household income. You must have an annual household income less than 80% of the AMI or area median income as determined by HUD, the Housing and Urban Development. Each opportunity may have a different AMI range with minimum and maximum income cutoffs. We will share a table below that explains the area median income limits better and provides examples of minimum and maximum incomes. These incomes will only be based on household members over the age of 18, but all household members, regardless of age, will be included when factoring in your household size. The program qualification factors. These factors will determine your ability to qualify and be pre-approved for a home loan with Habitat. The first one here is the ability to pay. Habitat will be determining whether the applicants or the borrowers, this would be you, have the financial capacity to repay the lender, who is Habitat, for the life of the loan. This is a long-term financial commitment in which, if you are approved, and sign on to become a homeowner, you will be borrowing money and are legally obligated to repay the loan that Habitat is lending to you. We determine this ability to pay based on a few factors, but one of the main components is that we cap the monthly mortgage payment at 30% of the borrower's gross annual income. If you're unfamiliar with what gross annual income is, it is the total amount of money a person earns in a year before any deductions are taken out, including your taxes. We'll then look at your financial readiness. Financial readiness ties in with the ability to pay. It will help provide context around your financial background. You must have strong financial habits, such as a credit score of at least 600, good credit history, no bankruptcies or foreclosures within the last 3 to 4 years, and a low debt-to-income ratio. The debt-to-income ratio is the percentage of your monthly debt payments, such as car loan payments, rental payments, credit card payments, etc., divided by your gross monthly income. And just a quick example, say you have $1,500 of monthly debt and you make $4,500 of income before your taxes. You will take that $1,500 in monthly debt and you would divide it by 4,500, and that comes out to a 30% debt to income ratio. I want to stress that lower is better, and we want you to be thoughtful of this throughout the process. Another reminder, throughout this lending application, we will be pulling your credit and we will be able to see your debts on these credit reports. It is important to be upfront and honest about your financial situation with Habitat. The second qualification factor is the willingness to partner. You must be willing to partner with Habitat. This includes completing and returning documentation by set deadlines, remaining communicative and honest with the Habitat team, completing partnership hours, more widely known as sweat equity hours, and partaking in educational workshops, among other activities. The final qualification factor is a housing need. You must be able to demonstrate a housing need. This is defined by any of the following. Cost burden. Applicants that are paying more than 30% of their monthly gross income towards housing, including rent payments and utilities. Substandard living conditions, which impact the health and or safety of the household members. Overcrowding, insufficient space, or room configuration to accommodate the number of occupants within the household. Unsafe neighborhoods due to high violent and nonviolent crime rate or other commonly accepted measures of unsafe neighborhoods. Unhealthy neighborhoods due to man-made or geoclimatic conditions such as flooding or earth movement. This slide here provides a chart to better explain the income eligibility guidelines for minimum and maximum household income amounts for each household size as they relate to the area median income limits determined by HUD. A reminder that your household income is what determines your eligibility and your entrance into the program. The household income will look at everyone over the age of 18 plus in the household. Household size will include everyone in the household regardless of age. The example we can look at here is for a household size of 4 people. At 40% of the area median income, the minimum income needed to qualify would be $45,875 per year. The maximum that this household could make is $91,750 at 80% of the AMI. One last reminder, this minimum income is a general representation and will vary for each housing opportunity. Now we will discuss the Habitat mortgage. Starting off with the down payment. The down payment on this home is as little as $1,000 or 1% of the full appraised value of the home. This will vary for each housing opportunity. The mortgage itself is a 30-year conventional mortgage with 0% interest and affordable housing payment that is capped at 30% of the borrower's gross annual income. As a reminder, your gross annual income is the total amount of money a person earns in a year before any deductions are taken out, including your taxes. The first mortgage is what the homeowner will be making payments on. The expectation is that the homeowner will be able to afford 75% of the full appraised value of the home based on the borrower's income and our ability to pay assessment. If there is a second mortgage, it is the difference between the value of the affordable first mortgage and the full appraised value of the home. This is to ensure that property values remain consistent in the communities that we build and rehab in. The second mortgage is a non-forgivable loan, which means it will remain in place until either the sale or transfer of the property. This home must be used as a primary home only. It cannot be used as a second home or an investment property. For Habitat to ensure that affordable housing remains in the communities that we build and rehab in, if a Habitat homeowner wants to sell their home, Habitat owns what is called a right of first refusal in our mortgage terms. This means Habitat must be notified of any intention to sell the property and will have the option to buy back the home before any other third party can submit an offer. If Habitat chooses to purchase this home back from a Habitat homeowner, we will offer fair market value and will not undercut anybody. Habitat also includes a shared appreciation clause within our mortgage terms. This means the homeowner is entitled to 10% of the appreciation or increase in value each year for a term of 10 years. On day 1 of year 11, homeowners then have full access to the equity they have built in their home via their mortgage payments, including all appreciation of value in the home. Why do we do this? The goal is to encourage equity building and have homeowners remain in their home long enough to pay into the home substantially, while also preventing quick resales or house flipping in the short term. It serves as a tool to incentivize stability and financial growth for homeowners. For example, if you have been in your home for 5 years and decided to sell the home, let's say the home has increased in value by $50,000, then at the time of the sale, you would be entitled to both what you have paid into the home via your mortgage payments, as well as 50% of that $50,000 increase to the value. This would be $25,000. The monthly housing payment. The affordable monthly payment includes the principal mortgage payment, property taxes, and homeowner's insurance. All three of these components are capped at 30% of the borrower's gross annual income. The principal mortgage payment will stay the same over the entire life of the loan and is intended to pay off the first mortgage amount. However, property taxes and homeowner's insurance can change annually and often do, meaning that your overall monthly mortgage payment, which includes principal and escrow, can change annually based on changes to property taxes and insurance costs. Property taxes and homeowner's insurance are paid out of an escrow account. This is a special account used to hold money safely until it is needed to pay those bills. A portion of your payment will be allotted to the escrow account to ensure there is enough to cover taxes and insurance. Here's a chart on how Habitat Montelco calculates the affordable mortgage amounts and payments based on borrowers' gross annual income. This is strictly example-based and will vary for each housing opportunity. Please feel free to take your time and take notes at your own pace. Now we will talk about the Pottstown opportunities and the timeline. As opposed to new construction that Habitat is generally known for, these will be rehab models that will operate on a shorter timeline. This will vary due to each opportunity, but the estimation is that it could take anywhere from 3 to 6 months. When the application does go out, all these details will be available. The first property here is a single-family detached home, 3 beds, 1.5 baths. This construction phase will begin sooner than the second property opportunity. Once again, it is a single-family detached home in Pottstown Borough, Pottstown School District. The property is about 1,800 square feet, 2-story home with a rear yard and alley access to 2 parking spots out back. The property will have all new plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. The home will be all electric, have new and like new finishes throughout, complete with new Whirlpool appliances, fridge, stove, dishwasher, and washer dryer. The household size is estimated up to 6 people. The maximum household income will be $106,450. The minimum household income is to be decided and will be released on the application cover sheet. The second property available will be a multifamily property with a total of 3 units. These will be condo-like units, likely each having 2 bedrooms, also in Pottstown Borough, Pottstown School District. This property is a 3-story building, which means the 3 units are to be stacked on top of one another. The building will have alley access to off-street parking in the rear. Each unit will have all new plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. The homes will be all electric, have new and like new finishes throughout, complete with new Whirlpool appliances, fridge, stove, dishwasher, and washer dryer. The household size may vary. We're thinking a total of up to 4, but depending on each unit size, which is also to be decided. The maximum household income could be as high as $91,750 if they are indeed larger units. This will also be finalized on the application cover sheet along with the minimum household income for this property. The application process. Applications will remain open for 30 days. In this time, applicants must make sure to submit all proper and requested documentation and that the application is completed in its entirety. Applications and supporting documents are only accepted by mail. They will not be accepted through email. Just a reminder, for any documentation submitted, please do not submit original documents. Please make copies only. The application will provide a checklist of everything you need to know and all the documentation needed. Documentation included will be for your assets, such as cash and savings, your debt documents, such as car loans, credit cards, utility bills, your tax returns for the most recent 2 years, income documents, which include your pay stubs and W-2s, bank statements, 2 forms of identification, and employment and residence history. The application review. During the initial application review, we will be checking to see if the application is complete upon initial submission, meets basic requirements, and that all supplemental documentation has been provided. If an application is complete upon initial submission, it will move to a secondary review. If an application is incomplete or missing documentation, we will send a request for missing documentation with a deadline of 14 days. If an application is not qualified based on basic requirements, for example, the applicant does not live or work in Montgomery and Delaware counties for at least a year prior to applying, that application will be denied. Secondary review. During the secondary review, applications that were complete and have all supplemental documentation will be reviewed more in depth, with Habitat taking a closer look to determine the program qualification factors we spoke about earlier: the ability to pay, your willingness to partner, and having a housing need. Applicants who are considered qualified on paper to move through the review step will have their current home visited to verify that there is a housing need, as defined by the program qualification factors I spoke about earlier. Applicants with a housing need will move forward to the home buyer selection process, and applicants with no observable housing need will be denied. The Home Buyer Selection Committee will conduct a blind review of all applications that were deemed eligible to move forward. This is a blind review, meaning that no personally identifiable information will be available to the committee, and they will only decide based on all the program qualification factors. Board approval. After the committee makes its recommendations with its final primary and backup selections, the Habitat Board of Directors will go through an approval process. Decision letters will be sent out, and a first meeting will be scheduled with these selected buyers. After being approved, you will move on to the Partnership Agreement Meeting. The Partnership Agreement Meeting is where the primary approved applicants will meet with Habitat staff to discuss the build, timeline, and it also describes the terms and conditions of your acceptance into the Home Purchase Program and your pre-approval for a home loan. Some of these conditions include communication expectations. This refers to the ongoing communication with Habitat on general updates, any changes in your household, significant life changes, and your financial situation. I really want to stress your financial situation here, as we will need to recalculate your income and debt to income ratios throughout this process. It is important to be honest and upfront with Habitat about any changes that occur. Your partnership hours. These represent a hands-on investment of time, effort, and commitment by program participants. The partnership hours, more widely known as sweat equity, are a non-monetary contribution made by Habitat prospective homeowners through volunteer work. You will be required to dedicate a specific number of hours determined by each housing opportunity and family size to tasks that support Habitat's mission. Some examples of this, but are not limited to, include construction work, volunteering, workshops and classes, and community engagement. Your partnership hours and the terms of this agreement must be fulfilled before moving forward to purchasing the home. This is one of the more vital parts of the Home Purchase Program and Habitat's philosophy. It is the agreement of mutual commitment and the willingness to partner between the potential home buyer and Habitat to create affordable, sustainable housing while also fostering empowerment and community pride. The next step will be the agreement of sale meeting. During the agreement of sale meeting, the prospective homebuyer and Habitat staff will go over, discuss, and finalize the terms of the agreement of sale. This meeting ensures the buyer understands the terms and conditions, knows their rights and responsibilities, and has a chance to ask questions or share their concerns. The agreement of sale will include important details like the sale price of the home, certain contingencies, closing procedures, as well as its condition, since these are rehab models. Habitat will also provide an estimated overview of the affordable payment plan. Once again, this plan is based on 30% of the buyer's gross annual income over a 30-year 0% interest mortgage. The agreement of sale will show the first mortgage amount that they'll pay, and if applicable, a second mortgage amount. Once the agreement of sale is signed, the process moves forward to finalizing the mortgage paperwork and to schedule home dedication and the home closing. I want to point out that even though you are signing this agreement of sale, you are not legally obligated to purchase this home. You will only become legally obligated once you sign the final mortgage paperwork at the home closing. Closing. This is where your down payment will be due and your mortgage signed. The mortgage closing is the final step in purchasing a home. This is when the home buyer and Habitat for Humanity sign the mortgage documents to officially transfer ownership of the property. During this process, the buyer receives the property title, agrees to the mortgage loan terms, provides their down payment, and becomes a homeowner once everything is signed and the money is properly handled. A closing agent, a real estate attorney, and Habitat staff will also be there to go over the mortgage documents and answer any last-minute questions that the buyer might have. For any questions about any of the information that was provided in this presentation, please reach out to the email or the phone number that will be provided in the next slide with resources and contact information. Thank you. Please take a moment to look at all the resources and contact information available for moving forward. At the bottom, take a look at the important dates. Applications will be open starting March 3rd, 2025, and the application cycle will close March 28th, 2025. Any questions, please reach out to programs@habitatmondelco.org or please call my number at 610-278-7710 extension 3. Once again, thank you everyone for coming today, and I hope to hear from you all soon. Take care.